Alrighty guys, so if you clicked on this video, you're probably looking for some advice on how to play the game well, drive well, just altogether have a good gaming experience. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you're struggling to ride or something and without wheeling over backwards, we're going to cover all that today. First, we're going to start out with your sled. Personally, if I'm just messing around, I like to stick with a 146 if I'm messing around on more flat areas and I want to wheelie a lot. A 146 is going to be really nice for doing that kind of stuff. 154 is you're kind of in between. You can do a little bit of hill climbing with it and you won't wheelie over too bad. But once you get to more of your mountain terrain, a 165 is going to be your best bet. A 165, you're not going to be able to wheelie as much. It's still possible, but you're not going to get as good of a wheelie as you are on the 160 or 146, excuse me. Now, this also goes for all the sleds, what I just said. So I personally am really liking these Gen 5 turbos. They are new to the game from the demo to the actual game release. These are all new. So the blue ones here and then the green ones, all these are all new with the game because before they didn't have these. All right, so for you new guys out there playing the game and you keep wheeling over backwards, I would suggest going with a 165. You're not going to have that problem wheeling over backwards as bad. Another thing is play with a controller if you can. Playing on your keyboard is really hard to do. And if you have the access to a controller, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, just it makes your gameplay way better. All right, next on the list is going to be in your options. You're going to go over to general. And obviously, with the new, when they drop the game, they can have metric and imperial. So you have miles per hour now instead of kilometers. So make sure to switch that. Another thing is auto steer. Auto steer is going to help you quite a bit. I will throw up a difference of what no auto steer and auto steer makes and how it actually works. Another thing you can do is you can shut your day-night cycle off if you have a little bit of a lower end computer. I noticed that my computer struggled just a tiny bit in between the day and night cycle. When the sun was setting, there was a lot of tree shadows. It just wasn't quite getting as many frames as it would in the middle of the day. So if you are struggling with a little bit of lag, I would suggest turning off the day-night cycle. Then it'll always be daytime and you won't have to worry about trying to see at night. Now, for those of you that are having troubles with wheeling over backwards like this, pretty simple to fix that is when you go to take off, try not to do complete full throttles because those are really going to put you way up in the air. And this one thing about this game that isn't quite realistic is you can wheelie over that easy in a 165. I'm sure you can wheelie over in a 165 in real life, but you know, it's not, it's a game, so not everything is going to be perfectly realistic. But anyways, you're going to take your leaning, however you lean on your keyboard or, Xbox controller, PlayStation, however you lean. You want to lean forward if you're down in the snow like this. Take off, maybe bump it full throttle. And then once you kind of get up on top of the snow, you're good to go. You don't have to lean forward anymore. Now, another thing that I like to do is play in first person. I think it's a lot more of an immersive experience. It just feels a lot better in general, especially when you're climbing. You can kind of feel how much the sled is coming up, and you don't have to worry about wheeling over as bad because you have somewhat of a feeling if it's going to wheelie over real quick. And if you are trying to wheelie but you're not able to do it very well, that was a pretty decent wheelie, but the best way you're going to get a wheelie is going down to something like a 154 or a 146. 146 is going to go way higher up. In the snow, you're going to be able to hold a wheelie a lot better. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but you'll get it down. Just take some practice, some time playing the game. Alright, last but not least, when you're going to do a hill climb, and you're just piling into the hills and you're not getting good speed and you end up kind of starting to wheelie over backwards at the very top of the hill, here is my best advice to you. Once you start to get close to the bottom of the hill, you're going to lean back to pop it up the front of the sled, and then lean forward as you start to get to the steep part of the hill. That is going to ensure that you're not going to bury the front end of your sled into the hillside as you come up to it with a bunch of speed. And then right after you get enough to pop the front of the sled up out of the way, you're going to want to lean forward, and that'll give you that ability to not wheelie over backwards. Some hills are pretty steep where you're still going to find that you might need a little bit more speed or tackle it from a different angle, but that's going to help quite a bit. Alright, that's going to be it for today. I hope you found these tips helpful, and if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. That would mean the world to me. And we're going to be making a lot more content on this game because I feel like this game has a bright future ahead of it. There's a lot more that could come to this game. So, we'll see you in the next one.